Hi, everybody. Thank you for attending our fourth webinar in our webinar series. We have already covered some of the main places in Ecuador, from the Galapagos to the Pacific coast. And today we have a very interesting topic, the trekkings, lodge-to-lodge trekkings in the Andes. So please let us know any questions you might have in the chat box. I will try to answer any question. And today, well, we are here with Jascivan Carvalho, the general manager, Carvalho from Kusini, and well, I'm Diego Escobar, the commercial manager of Tropic. So we are really happy to have you here today. So let's start, Jassi.
All right, thank you, Diego. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Ecuador again. It's really great to have it's really good to have your companion in this lockdown. We're still at home. It's almost 2 months now, Tad, and I am almost with a very nice beard. You know, I'm getting there. And there was being very fun to go to the Galapagos with you, and then to the Amazon, and now with my latest passion. This is kind of a journey on my own personal journey in developing experiences, very unique experience in Ecuador. I started off in the Amazon rainforest, as you guys know, and then moved on to develop the Galapagos walking tours 12, 13 years ago. And my last passion is still a work in progress. I haven't summited Chimborazo yet, so I'm still a beginner in the mountains, but my newest passion is really trekking and climbing mountains, and I'm very excited to go about that, Tad. Welcome, Tad. It's really glad to have you on this webinar as well, my friend.
I've got my ice axe, Jassi. I hope you have yours. Got my trekking poles. Got my boots. I'm ready for some virtual trekking here, bro. It's been
awesome.
Months I've trekked in Ecuador, so this is gonna be fun.
I agree. My wife doesn't let to bring my boots inside the house, but I also have my trekking poles. And for the Cotopaxi summit, I brought my helmet, as you know, safety first. I'm gonna be wearing it later. But yeah, lately I've been using the walking sticks to protect my knees. You know, the age, with the age, you have to be careful with those little ones. So, all right, guys, let's get things going then. Welcome to Ecuador. Thank you so much again for taking the time to join us. And as Diego said, this is gonna be about the Andes. We're not going to talk about Galapagos. We're not going to talk about the Amazon. It's only going to be about the mountains. But also, as everything in Ecuador, we have a very fun and diverse Andes highlands. You know, in the north of Otavalo, as you guys know, is a fun area to learn about the Quechua culture. As you know, Ecuador is the United Nations of cultures. We have different indigenous groups in the different areas of the country, and the Andes specifically, you have different areas like Otavalo, where you have the Otavaleños, who are famous worldwide. You've probably seen them everywhere. This is probably the most entrepreneurial culture that we have. North of Quito, we're talking about a couple of hours drive, very easy drive. You know, one of the beautiful things that we have in this country are incredible highways. So in a couple of hours drive north, you are in Otavalo, in the heart of this incredible indigenous region. The reason why we decided to create these trekking tours is pretty much, you know, doing things a la Tropic, right? We felt like this whole trend of taking people on day trips from Quito, you know, the Otavalo, Cotopaxi, and the Cloud Forest became these day trip destinations. And we feel like to really understand these areas, you have to spend a little bit more time, right? Travel a little bit slower. And we decided to create a lodge-to-lodge trekking in Otavalo specifically to create this possibility and opportunity for people to have this cultural immersion into the Otavaleño world. So a little bit of the technical specs, you know, we call these Otavalo cultural trails. We have, you know, 3 nights and 2-night programs that we feel like good extensions or usually pre-extensions to your Galapagos adventure. We use different lodges. The whole idea is to go from lodge to lodge. We're talking about comfortable trekking, and the Otavalo portion is really, you know, is a bit easier because it's lower altitude than Cotopaxi, but it's also really about cultural engagements. This is a very social kind of program. In general terms, this is how the adventure looks like. We start in Mojanda, which is, you know, very close to Otavalo city, but in the other complete opposite side of the Suleta Valley. So the whole journey is pretty much covering different valleys, coming from Ojanda, then going down to Otavalo, and then going up again on the Imbabura Valley, and then down to Suleta Valley. So we're gonna be, you know, kind of unplugging from the city. You know, you're arriving from wherever you're coming from in the world. You get to Quito, you know, you move quickly to the north, and so you want to unplug from everything that you've been doing in your previous days and back at home. Unplug, forget about things, and start getting your head around this adventure you're gonna get. On day 2 is a full immersion into Otavaleño culture world. We're gonna be hiking and having multiple experiences we're gonna show you in a bit. And then towards the end, we're gonna go to this, you know, back doors of Otavalo, to this incredible and magical valley that Suleta is. Tad, feel free to interrupt, my friend. I don't want to take over. I want to be able to leave you to have some of your own takes, as you've been tracking with me these valleys for years now. So please feel free to share your insider access as well into these incredible places. So day 1, it's Las Palmeras, right? Las Palmeras is one beautiful hacienda that we discovered very close to Otavalo city, an hour walk, and you know, off the beaten path, you know, but kind of in the lower altitude. So a great place to kind of get there, decompress, as I said, unplug from the city, enjoy the gardens, beautiful gardens, you know, get to know the locals that work in this property, you know, family friendly as well. I've been with my family there. You can see Tiago there, find a new pet with this little pig close to Otavalo, discovering a little bit of the cornfields of the neighbors. They were probably not happy to see this kid destroying their farm work. And then, but also, you know, having Alegria and Titi just exploring the area with us. Very easy hike. We've done it together all the way down to Otavalo. So fantastic place to start. Obviously, Otavalo, it's, you know, busy, is a big commercial city. You know, you have the textile market, but the most fun are the fruit, vegetable, and the animal market. So it's a great way to get into how incredibly diverse Ecuador is and how rich is our land, right? So you have fruits from the coast, everything comes here, you know, stuff that is coming from the neighboring areas, you know, all of the products that are produced and will be seen on the first hour hike from the hacienda to the market, but also you're gonna see fruits from different corners of the country. So it's an incredible place to get kind of a briefing on the richness of and how agricultural focus is our little country. So lots of colors, lots of flavors. Our guys have a lot of fun, you know, buying little things for your clients to taste, you know, these weird named fruits that you probably haven't seen before. So it is a lot of fun. And as I said, Otavalo is a big city, is the largest indigenous market in South America. But no, the whole idea is to get there, to have this experience, but slowly get away from the crowds and, you know, get lost on the little trails that we've been discovering over the years. And I mean, the follow-up of the market, we'll be hiking down from the hacienda, we get to the market, we have a little box lunch there, and then we continue hiking towards Peguche, which is a waterfall, but it's kind of a getaway to the back doors of Otavalo, right? And you kind of suddenly find yourself in the middle of these indigenous communities that live surrounding Otavalo, because Otavalo is kind of a hub, right? Everybody brings their stuff and they sell, but then they go back into the villages. And Peguche is kind of a magical way to enter this indigenous world, and then find a guy like Miguel Andrango that we've been working for years. He's a dear friend of Tropic, and he's really the guy who inspired us to create the May I Introduce You To program, right? You probably heard of the May I Introduce You many times. We talk about, you know, indigenous artisans, but we also talk about chefs and chocolatiers and artists and guys who build guitars in the south of Ecuador, etc. But Miguel is the guy who inspired us to create this program. And the reason why is that we feel we have to celebrate and honor these people still doing their artwork by hand, you know, handicraft. We all talk about handicraft, and nowadays you find handicraft from China everywhere, right? Handicraft. But Miguel is a guy who's still weaving these incredible textiles by hand. And the idea is to not only go and see his shop or try and sell his textile, the idea is to celebrate this guy, right? This is a legacy of Ecuadorians, is a legacy for the Otavaleño culture. And he's a guy who allows us to spend a couple of hours with him and his family, right? You get to know Maria, but all of the Otavaleños seems to be called Marias, but you're gonna see his daughter Maria, and we're gonna spend some time with him and talk to him and walk around his gardens and learn about medicinal plants, etc. So it's a fantastic way to get a real immersion into the Otavaleño culture and this textile world.
Jazzy, if I can just interrupt, I mean, the experience with Mr. Andrango goes well beyond just the fact that he's a master weaver, and he's displayed his arts and his artisan weavings all around the world in various galleries in the United States and in Europe. So he's truly a master weaver, and to watch him ply his trade is incredible. But it goes so far beyond that with him. I would have loved to have spent, you know, a day, if not a couple of days, just absorbing his wisdom and his knowledge. I mean, you can just see, it's a little hard in that picture on the upper left, but he has this twinkle in his eye and this little smirk, this little grin that just is full of mirth and full of wisdom, and he just has this zest for life that, you know, he's a very small, older, you know, 80-plus-year-old man who has seen a lot, and he despite being of advanced age, he just is full of incredible energy and life. So while it is definitely about the art of artisan weaving and his craft, it's also really about the person. And that's where I think the May I Introduce You program is so good, because it gets you beyond just even the craft that's being discussed and gets you into the insight of this culture through a person. And like I say, if you could spend a whole day with Mr. Andrango, it would be well worth it, and you'd learn a lot and you'd laugh a lot, and you would come away with a real deep understanding of what his life has been like and what the culture of the Otavaleños is all about.
Yeah, yes, indeed, Tad. And you'll be very welcome, right? You're going to be very welcome.
Can't wait.
And this
is a great trip down memory lane, you know, wanting me to inspire me when I want to come back as soon as I can.
Yeah, well, I think it's not only the fact that we all are really looking forward to go outside and play again and do our hikes and meet people, interesting people, and share, but these guys are also waiting for us, right? And I think it's, I've been reading lately a lot about how conservation will suffer after this pandemic, right? Because tourism is a huge source of funding for small projects like this, supporting, you know, local communities, supporting small cultural expression work and projects like Andrango has, obviously conservation work. So we have also, we are going to start to talk a lot about our role as a conservation organization as well, / ecotourism operator, right? And we have a huge responsibility in our hands here, because these guys are part of our families, and we gotta send people their way as soon as we possibly can, right? So from Andrango, we're kind of blessed, right? We're welcome into this indigenous world, but he knows that we are on a hiking day. We've been walking for a couple of hours already from the hacienda down to the town, and then up to Andrango's home. And then we're gonna go and explore Andrango's territory, right? And it's pretty much an incredible farmland. And you're gonna be meeting a lot of, you know, Andrango's friends and family. You're gonna be seeing a lot of locals working in their farms with these beautiful views of San Pablo Lake on your right-hand side, right? So we came, if you see on the photo, there is a mountain right on the right-hand side, and that's more or less from where we're coming from. So we're hiking down from that mountain. We're gonna cross Otavalo and then up right again, and we're gonna hike with this beautiful view. And this is gonna be afternoon time, so we're most likely gonna see the sun setting throughout the afternoon until we reach Kusini, right? Kusini, 17th century building, you know, incredible, another incredible historical hacienda of Ecuador, right? Ecuador has this wealth of haciendas and history and architecture and artwork, as you can see on these walls. And so Kusini is fantastic place to have our second night, apart from the fact that it happens to be, and it's kind of a coincidence, but Las Palmeras, where we came from, and Kusini have the same management. So we're gonna get the same kind of, you know, standards, but the organization as well in tune with what we're trying to do. So we get a lot of help in terms of the logistics, and things happen. Sometimes people get tired a little bit early, so we have to drive them to the hacienda, and then we go and pick up the rest of the group or whatever. So it's a lot of support to have these local partners with you. So
Hey,
day two
Josh,
is yeah.
Sorry, just to jump in, Jossie, just in terms, because we'll probably get questions on this, in terms of distance and flexibility. I think roughly that this day from Mohanda up to Kusini is up to about 9 or 10 miles. So what, 17-ish kilometers at the top end, but that's completely flexible as well. There's a vehicle that is around. These are, this isn't a super isolated area. You're walking through farmers' fields and small little villages, and there are access points as well. So if you have a family, and I know you've done it with your family as well, if the kids decide, hey, we don't want to walk anymore, you can easily hop into a vehicle and they can take the kids or the whole group off to Kusini. Yeah. So it's a super flexible day of hiking. If you are a hardcore hiker and you want to hike 10 miles, it's an amazing day. And we did that on our last trip there with our wonderful friend Barbara. And but if you don't and you want to, just do a couple of miles or a couple of kilometers, it's completely flexible based on the group and how you're feeling that day.
Correct. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's important to clarify, right? You're hiking with your walking sticks and your day pack with some water and some snacks. Not even the souvenirs. If you want to go crazy and buy half of Otavalo or buy everything from Andrango, our car can pick it up and take it to the next location. So now the whole idea is to do a fun, comfortable walking day, right? It's not hardcore, and we don't want you to carry anything. The idea is for you to enjoy. So Kusini, comfortable hacienda, beautifully decorated, etc. So from here, this is a full day, as I said, as Tad says, a long day, right? So on the following day, we will continue to the back doors of Otavalo, right? We're heading towards Suleta, and this is an area much less developed. So we're really talking about little houses here and there, they're not even towns in this area. So beautiful, again, to immerse into the indigenous world, but the real deal, right? This is potato farming, and you're seeing, all of the different species of trees and medicinal plants and plantations that the locals, again, you're going to be bumping into local communities. But I think the most interesting aspect of this day 3 is how slowly Suleta Valley will appear. And this is a valley that is completely different from Otavalo. Otavalo has, predominance of lakes in the area. And now we're talking about Cayambe, one of our beautiful and emblematic volcanoes in the distance. But Suleta Valley, it's super green, right? You can see how fertile this region where the farm of Suleta is, but also where the community of Suleta is, right? And this is Ted pointing down there on the photo where the hacienda is, and we're slowly heading down towards the community. And this is a really cool community that developed afterwards of the hacienda. One of these presidents who owns Suleta gave into some land reforms of our country. He gave back to the local community land, and this community is super well organized, and they've been developing their tourism for the past couple of years. So now everything has these beautiful signs, and we actually work with IUCN in one project to help them figure what the community tourism operation would look like. So they have the Mirador Gajo Fiti at 2,100. So you have some signs that make you feel like, okay, this is cool, this feels organized. And then we go into another, may I introduce you to a project that we are very proud of with Carmita and Jose Maria, this beautiful home where we're gonna end our 3rd day of walking with a cooking class, right? And we're gonna learn how to do a little locro and the trucha, right? It's beautiful food. But I think this is really about, again, facilitating interactions with the local community, right? I guess Tad still have good memories of the work that he did when doing his locro.
Yeah, these are, for those of you that are hikers here in North America, and maybe for the Europeans as well, I'm not sure, those are actually lupin seeds. So I know when I go hiking in the Cascade Mountains here outside of Seattle, you see beautiful lupin blooming all the time. And in fact, there's a photo, I would have picked a different photo from the day before, Jassi, when we're hiking towards San Pablo, because you could just see these lupin fields bloom with Imbabura volcano there and the light. No offense to your presentation skills, but anyway, then the next day we get to Jose Maria and Carmita's house, and we're put to work, of course, because this is a participatory cooking class in their home, in their kitchen. And we get put to work shelling lupin seeds, which is apparently, well, I think maybe I came up with the phrase, maybe not, but at least in my Instagram, I posted it's the edamame of the Andes, and it kind of tastes like edamame. So it was a revelation here in Jose Maria's kitchen, finding that lupin is actually edible. So the next time I go hiking in the Cascades, I'll be looking for those lupin seeds as well.
Thank you, man. Well, unlike that, I hope you all are enjoying my presentation. I spent the whole Mom's Day preparing it. So I
wasn't given the editorial veto role apparently, but it was only that one photo.
All right, man. Thank you. So this could be the end of your day 3 and the hike, right? At Jose Maria and Carmita, you're gonna have this wonderful lunch, and you don't feel like hiking anymore. You just want to have a beer and chat with these guys and have fun, right? And this could be the end of the program, but you could also decide to extend your journey and continue walking towards Zuleta, the Hacienda Zuleta, that is only 20 minutes, is across the street pretty much, right? And you can finish your trekking in style, right? And if your clients are, done with it, they wanted to do a couple of days hikes and then relax for another night or another day and do the Zuleta world, which is incredible, cheese, horseback riding, more hiking, conservation, the condors, etc. Zuleta is a continent almost like, right? And from there, you could continue straight to the airport if you want to go on your Galapagos adventure or go to your extension to the Amazon. But if you're feeling adventurous, and this is what we hope you feel like, you could continue down to Cotopaxi, right? So Otavalo is an incredible way also to get acclimatized, right? When you're hiking more or less in the range of 2,800 meters to 3,000 meters, which is more or less the Quito altitude. So it's, is a great way to acclimatize and very easy to handle the altitude.
For the Norte Americanos, roughly up to about 10,000 feet in Otavalo. So very good acclimatization for Cotopaxi, which, as you'll see, Jassi, is certainly a little bit higher.
Yeah, a little bit higher. But before we go to Cotopaxi, we wanted just to show off and see how many cool things we have, right? And we also, in the past, I think 5 years, family travel became so incredibly popular. So we have adapted all of these adventures that we have in these regions for the little ones as well, right? And it's a lot around the kitchens, this is Alegria and Tiago having fun there with some friends, with Carmita, learning how to cook, learning how to horse ride, making cheese, making empanadas. So we have adapted a lot of our own adventures. As Tad said, we can make our hikes shorter so they can have the adventure of hiking, but then they can go and play and do their thing, right? So we have adapted a lot of that. And also Otavalo is very rich in terms of infrastructure, right? We have these incredible traditional haciendas, as I said. We just showed you a few images of Kusini. Zuleta doesn't need an introduction, but you also have Pinsaki, you have Piman, and you also have incredible lodges, right? This is probably not traditional hacienda in terms of history and architecture, but you have these hidden gems in the surrounding of this valley, like Medina del Lago, Pantaví, or Sachaji, right? So amazing range of choices to tailor-made your own adventure in this area. But we're talking trekking, right? So let's go to Cotopaxi. We're well acclimatized now, always drinking a lot of water because it's really necessary to drink water, to facilitate the hikes and also to get used to the altitude. But then Cotopaxi, we're talking about higher altitude. We're talking about the ranges of 3,500 meters all the way up to 5,000 if you go for the snow line. But another very easy to get destination from Quito. This is even closer than Otavalo. 1 hour, 30 minutes. You can be on the head of your trail to get to Pasochoa, but this is south of Quito, right? Otavalo is in the north, Cotopaxi is south of Quito. And the whole idea here is an adventure, right? This is completely different from Otavalo. If Otavalo is about the Quechua and the cultures, Cotopaxi is about landscapes, right? It's about the views. It's about the volcano, this perfect cone-shaped snow-capped volcano, the highest active volcano in the world. Remember that Ecuadorians, we're not the biggest, we're the biggest in very few things, but we find the facts, right? So we have the highest active volcano. We have the second biggest crater on Earth in Isabela in the Galapagos. So we have the best flowers in the world. You know how it is with Ecuadorians, right?
Don't you also have the highest mountain in the world? You do the math by the center.
We even have, if you measure Chimborazo from the center of the planet, right, the real center, to the summit, we have the closest point to the sun, right, Chimborazo, that I haven't climbed yet, but my helmet here is waiting
Let's do it.
to get there. Let's do that. So Cotopaxi, you know, same concept. We wanted to do comfortable trekking. We want people to have fun, to have their own adventure, to maybe do a couple of summits along the way. But we wanted people to feel comfortable and to feel safe, right? That's why we decided to create, you know, this journey with the same concept of going slowly towards the goal, right? So it's not about driving you to the parking lot, going to the refugio, dying, right? And oh, I've been in Cotopaxi. We want Cotopaxi to be in front of you for a couple of days and slowly get to the volcano, right? And that's the whole concept of this trek compared to the other one that is a lot about, you know, the interaction you're having minute by minute with the local community. This is really about getting to Cotopaxi, but in a fun way, right? So
I think just to make the point for both treks, Jassi, is there was a lot of thought that went into how to create a journey, you know, over 3 or 4 days. This isn't just arbitrarily picking lodges and arbitrarily picking a trail, whether we're talking about Otavalo and the cultural journey or Cotopaxi and the wilderness journey. There's a lot of thought that went into how to structure it so that it feels like you are on a journey along the way. And whether that's the goal is to summit Cotopaxi or to get to the snow line of Cotopaxi as the ultimate goal of your journey, or to trek through these wonderful valleys, Otavalo and Zuleta, and get to this incredible hacienda like Hacienda Zuleta, or this beautiful valley like Zuleta Valley. There is thought as to how we unfold this journey as it goes along, and each experience builds on itself. Sometimes because of acclimatization, your hikes are building on each other to allow you to either summit Cotopaxi or get to the snow line. But there's a plan and there's thought for how this has been been constructed. Yeah, I know a lot of thought as well as a lot of time on your feet exploring these trails, since you were the one out there doing that several years ago.
I'll tell you in a few minutes the limit that I took this storytelling, man. And my wife almost killed me, but now she loves it. So I'll tell you in a minute. But I think that what you're saying, Tad, is expressed in only one slide right there. Cotopaxi is really about the storytelling here. Are these incredible landscapes and views, right? You have the Pita River waterfall you're going to be visiting on day one. You have Cotopaxi that will be accompanying us the whole time, right? Getting closer and closer as soon as we go along. And but the storytelling begins with one thing that many people dream, especially trekking lovers and hiking lovers like yourself, Tad. You know, everybody dreams of summiting your mountain, right? Who doesn't feel good about your first summit? And for many people who never summit a real Andean mountain when they come to Ecuador. So we decided to bring this possibility on day one. People say, well, Jassi, but are you crazy? Why are you making people summit on day one something? Well, because Paso Choa is such a gentle mountain, right? As you can see, grassland, you know, no rocks, no snow. It's 4,000 meters, which is, you know, for my standard, you know, pretty mild volcano to climb. But the cool thing here is that because of many trails and conversations and agreements, we found a way to get almost to the summit driving. So we are an hour hike from the base where we got our permits to drive with our cars on day one. And then in 1 hour, you're having this incredible view of Cotopaxi from the distance, right? So, and from this summit at 4,000 meters, we can actually explain what's gonna happen in the next few days, right? You can show Cotopaxi down there, say, guys, we're gonna go hiking all the way to the snow line there in the next couple of days, right? And this is a beautiful way to get into this beautiful valley of volcanoes, right? We're not talking about the avenue, the classic avenue of the volcanoes from Quito all the way down to Guayaquil. We're talking about a valley of volcanoes. Chilcabamba, we're going to talk about in a few minutes, but actually the valley that is right on the foothills of Cotopaxi is surrounded by volcanoes, right? You have Paso Choa, you have Cotopaxi, you have Sincholagua, and you have Rumiñahui. So this is a there is a very unique ecosystem because it's so protected by these huge mountains that you actually inside that valley have fantastic weather, for example, right? The Chilcabamba is usually warm, right? So from here we can explain many things, right? So this is a very easy hike up. And then the cool thing is that most of the day you're gonna be hiking down towards your first stop, right? So the idea is that, yes, it is high, but most of the days you're gonna be walking downhill, gentle downhill. So great way to get yourself acclimatized again and understand the surrounding area and enjoy the beautiful landscapes. End of day one, and this is the end of your story, Tad. You know, what is the limit of the storytelling, man? When I was developing these programs, I couldn't find the right first stop after Pasochoa. You know, there are a few hotels down there, you know, haciendas, but you could never end up walking all the way to the hotel. And then Chilcabamba appeared in my life in early 2015, right before Cotopaxi erupted. And I found the place and I said, oh my God, this is the perfect fit for our lodge to lodge treks. Call my wife and say, babe, I think we're gonna get another lodge for us. I just found the perfect place for the story we're trying to create here with our trekking trips. And since then, Chilcabamba became another love story we have with eco lodges around this country. Is our mountain lodge in the Andes, right? And the whole idea is to create a base camp for explorers, right? This is not meant to be hacienda. There is not at all hacienda style. This is just a place for people to relax, eat well, you know, feel like at home in the middle of this beautiful valley of mountains. And it's pretty much opening our home to our visitors. Ted, would you like to add something about Chilcabamba while I show some pictures of the suites and rooms and family rooms we have?
Right. It's just, well, first of all, it's very remote. You know, you feel like you are in the middle of the Paramo. You're just out in the high Andean plains. You've got this incredible view in through this picture window in the main lodge of Cotopaxi. It's really worth getting up early to see the sunrise and the glow off the summit of Cotopaxi and squinting at the refugio, which you can see. You know, if you look through binoculars or even actually through your naked eye, you can actually see where it is. A little glint of red off of the brick, and yeah, you're just in this incredibly beautiful and remote feeling place. It feels like you're part of the family, and I know it is part of your family now, Jassi, this lodge and the people that work there with you, and you feel like you have been initiated into the family for the couple of days that you're in this place. So it really does put you in the right mindset for going trekking and exploring this really remote and beautiful high altitude plains that you'll be spending the next couple of days hiking around. And the food, wow. I mean, it's very hearty, mountain, you know, farm fresh food. This isn't, Michelin star, pinky in the air type of food. It's hearty, fresh, local food that makes you want to go trekking as well. And it's the perfect end to a day of being out trekking, getting really delicious food prepared by Jose, thank you, who is part of the family.
Yeah, part of the family. Jose, Eugenia, they're all there now, standing by, waiting for us to go back. You know, we speak every 2 days with them, say, guys, you know, we're really looking forward to be able to leave the home. The first place that Tiago and Alegria say they want to go after this lockdown ends is Chilcabamba. We're going to spend a week there with Jose and Eugenia and have our mortinos and locro and trout and etc. So fantastic base camp, you know, really comfortable mountain lodge for us to decompress after the first day, or maybe fourth day if you're coming from Otavalo, right? So it's a place that you feel the value of the beauty of it, and our fire pits in each of the rooms, you know, comfortable, really warm, you know, it's just fantastic, and the views of Cotopaxi in front of you at all times. So first day we summit Pasochoa, we went down to Chilcabamba, 3,500 meters. That's where Chilcabamba lives. And then we slowly go off the beaten path towards Cotopaxi. And day two is really about getting into the Cotopaxi National Park. We're going along a river that is called the Pita River, where we actually work on a conservation project. We have kind of a reforestation program, but it's really about, we and our guides talk a lot about water conservation, right? We tend to think about, when we think about water, we think about the Amazon right now, the Amazon because the rainforest and all of the water is in the rainforest, but that's not true, right? All of the fresh water that we get in big cities like Quito, for example, comes from Cotopaxi. So the conservation of these rivers in the Andes, the headwaters of the rivers of the Amazon, start in mountains like these glaciers that are melting, you know, can be a potential problem when we talk about climate change. And for Quiteños like myself, you know, we should be worried and look after these mountains, because they are not only a postcard from our city, but they are also the source of the water that we use on a daily basis in our homes. So we talk a lot about conservation, while slowly we get into the national park, right? So this is really how the Pita ends. Like, Pita is a big river. You saw the waterfall in the first slides. So there you can see the Pita now becoming, you know, just a stream of water that is collecting from the glaciers. And we're slowly entering the national park. On the back door, we are not going to the main gate. We're going, you know, it's just a national park for ourselves until we get to this archaeological site, right? So you can see the presence of the Incas and the pre-Inca cultures in these areas as well, because it was not always a national park, right? The Cotopaxi National Park was founded in 1975. So a long time before that, you used to have indigenous settlements in the area. And this was an interesting trading route from the Amazon to the Andes, right? And these Pucará de Salitre de Pucarás were military posts that the Inca had, you know, to be able to communicate quickly if there was some problem going, or for the Chasquis were the runners, were the email of the Inca, right? These guys running for the whole empire, bringing the news to the emperor up and down from south of Colombia all the way down to Peru, right? So really beautiful, interesting place. And a fantastic surprise, right? On kind of a little hidden area of this Inca site, we prepared this surprise picnic lunch, you know, and for people to feel like, oh my God, this is fantastic, you know, this kind of wow moments that people talk about. So this is really well appreciated when we are, you know, in the open wilderness area, and suddenly you see this beautiful food prepared by the folks from Chilcabamba. You actually can see Jose and Eugenia and Titi here, who came along to help us out that day of the photo. And then you have this beautiful viewpoint. So we bring all of the little toys, right? Just to surprise people, you know, and this is the highlight of day 2, right? You're getting into Cotopaxi, you are learning about conservation, you are seeing the national park, you are visiting the second most visited national park in Ecuador, and you're probably not seeing anybody, right? Because everybody else is in the parking lot, everybody else is in the interpretation center in Limpio Pungo, and we have our Cotopaxi National Park for ourselves, almost exclusive, right? And then we end on the sister lodge of Chilcabamba called Tambopaxi, probably known by some of you. But fun fact, Tambopaxi was built by the same guy who built Chilcabamba. So they look like sister lodge. So it's fun, the coincidence, right? Las Palmeras and Kusini in Otavalo, and Chilcabamba and Tambopaxi, they are looking more or less similar. So you can actually build some kind of story, even though they are not related, but somehow they are related, right? And they look alike, which makes it interesting and fun and part of the storytelling that Tad was mentioning. But this is really about, Tambopaxi is really about the views, right? So this is crazy. You're Cotopaxi right there in front of you. You're at much higher altitude now. We're talking about 4,000 meters. So you start feeling it. So, you know, it's a nice place to spend the night. Again, get acclimatized, nice, comfortable food. Again, this is a mountain lodge, mountain refuge, really used by the climbers who go for Cotopaxi. Cotopaxi is a mountain that is very popular to climb, so heavily used by climbers. So usually you bump into these characters, you know, really adventurous. So it's fun ambience, and it's only yourself, right? There is no other construction in this area. So on day 3, we launched towards, you know, the final stretch of the journey. The idea now is to reach the snow line. And but first, from Tambopaxi, we go to Limpio Pungo. That is one of the highlights of Cotopaxi National Park, and it's incredible. because of the bird life you can see on this lake. Not only the view of Cotopaxi that is right on your back, but you have migratory birds coming into this area. For the second time, if you're lucky, you could see condors. Usually we will see condors in Pasochoa, but again, here there is a huge opportunity to see condors again. And you can see there, you can see wild rabbits. So, you know, this is wildlife territory surrounding this lake, which is great. So we stretch our legs around the lake before we head towards the parking lot of Cotopaxi, and then we hike up to 5,000 meters to the Refugio Jose Rivas, right? And I decided to put a photo of my little family there, just for you to have a sense of, oh my God, this seems so high, my clients won't be able to make it. Come on, guys. Tiago there, I think he's 4-year-old on that photo, and he made it. You can see he's celebrating there. So, you know, this is doable. I'm not saying it is easy. I'm not saying that people won't feel sick because of the altitude. Some people might not be willing, but remember, you've been acclimatizing for a couple of days. So the possibilities for you to reach easily this altitude, it's very high, right? And our idea is not to end at the refugio. The idea is to hike a little bit more. You know, it's more or less 45 minutes to get to these permanent glaciers of Cotopaxi. And that's incredible, right? It's mind-blowing to be able to touch the snow, to get to the snow line. That's your prize, right? That's the award. You know, you work really hard to get to this place. A lot of people work really hard to get to the summit, but I mean, for most people, just getting to the glaciers, it's an accomplishment, right? And it's the highest point you've been in your life, right? So we're talking about 5,100 meters. So it can be, you know, it feels really good. It feels fantastic. And that's kind of the end, right?
And then, Jassi, again, you look back from this point through your entire journey, from the start of it, you can see Pasochoa, you can see Ruminawa, you can see, you can see Chilca, you can see Tambopaxi. I mean, you can see Quito just about. I mean, it is the culmination of the journey, and then you almost get to rewind and look back at the last several days spent. So it's just a really special way to finish up your time in the wilderness in Cotopaxi, being able to relive it.
Yeah. And remember that you could be doing this for 6 days. You could be doing the whole social, cultural trail in Otavalo, you know, getting to know these people. You're still talking about Andrango, but now you're talking about Jose as well from Chilcabamba, and you're hiking, you're learning about water conservation, you're learning about volcanoes, but also culture. So the two programs all together, it's mind-blowing, the whole thing, right? The whole story. And it's really the Andes of Ecuador, off the beaten path completely compared to other Andean heavily visited trails, right? These places are trails that you're gonna see, you know, local people, but rarely you're gonna be bumping into other groups, right? And I feel like this is a fantastic preparation for climbing Cotopaxi, right? And this is, now we get, let's put our safety, right? Safety first, right? So the whole idea now is that after 6 days on very easy trails, acclimatizing, now you're gonna be, you know, preparing to climb Cotopaxi. And because of Chilcabamba and my passion for the mountains, I decided that, well, why not having kind of a Cotopaxi Express, right? You're having fun with all of your trekkings, right? We're taking you to Pasochoa, you're going to take you to the Pita Trail, we're going to do gourmet picnics in the national park, but you're gonna be preparing you as well to get to the summit. So we're gonna do a glacier school, there is a rest day there in the middle, and in 8 days, we can, you know, not easily, because it's never easy, right? But Cotopaxi is a very gentle mountain. So it's really a hike up. Obviously you have to go prepared. You have to learn how to use your mountain gear. You have to learn how to handle your crampons and your walking sticks, and like Tad's ice pick there, and being roped. But the whole idea is that Cotopaxi, you know, this incredible postcard kind of mountain, and you can actually summit it at 6,000 meter altitude. So it's really accessible. We're not talking about Everest with weeks of getting to the base of the mountain. You're not talking about Aconcagua, yet you also need 10 days to get to the base of the mountain. You can drive from my house, and in 2 hours, you are in the base of the mountain, right? So it's really, that's how easy things are in this tiny country. And so we have adapted to be able to prepare this kind of adventures for, you know, adult adventure, like, let's call it like that. I wouldn't take Tiago yet to the summit of Cotopaxi, even though he calls Cotopaxi his little white mountain he wants to climb someday, right? But again, in this area, yeah, in this area, we also adapted, you know, all of these trails that we've been exploring together for the little ones. So again, horseback riding, we have, you know, the ropes, and Pita. Only the Pita River is incredible playground for the kids. So we have, you know, created these easy to get programs for them. And apart from Chilcabamba, even though it's very close to our hearts and we really hope and encourage you to support it, there are other properties in this area as well, you know, other style of properties. We are talking about historical haciendas like San Agustin del Cayo. They're really interesting, you know, for the high-end clients who want a more historical approach and less of an adventure. You have El Porvenir, which is more like a working farm. And then you have more like boutique style properties like Santa Ana and Cotopaxi Pungo. And something that we've been talking for many years, and I think is going to be popular in the next couple of years, will be villas, right? So as you guys know, we have our Galapagos Villa program with a few properties down there. We also have this incredible house very close to Chilcabamba that we are very good friends with our neighbors and owners. And you can also rent it as a villa experience. So you can have your horseback riding, your trekking adventures, but you can also have your more exclusive space in case that's what your clients are looking for. Tad, do you have anything to add there?
No, I think I'm ready to come. Ready to get back to Ecuador, get on the trail. I've been re-inspired,
Awesome.
Jassi.
Yeah. I have, you know, we all of this time at home, and we're doing a lot of planning here. So we might have another lodge to lodge coming in the next couple of months. You know, I have to go and scout it first, and now it's not possible. But we have our eyes now with Titi here on Quilotoa. There is, you know, we discovered there is a very nice trail to get to Quilotoa Lake, and it seems like there are lodges well located for us to do a follow-up of our lodge-to-lodge treks. So guys, that's a wrap, you know, really deep into our trails, you know, different types of accommodation. I don't know if we have enough time, Diego, for a few questions, if there are.
We have some minutes for that. And yeah, it was a great presentation. I think the highlight of these lodge-to-lodge trekkings are, of course, the landscapes first. The second, that you will not find many people around. Of course, it's a really private itinerary, and that is really important. Now, another thing is that you will be going through secondary roads behind people's homes, so it's another angle of Ecuador that you won't see in any other way. And yeah, we have couple of questions here from Nicholas.
I'm putting my helmet for the questions.
Yeah, safety first. Can this program also be done with mountain bikes? Nicholas Jacks is.
Oh, Nicholas, I should have expected that question from you, man. You actually can. It's very easy. Otavalo, I mean, it will be for you a joke, but I think it will be a very easy area to do a mountain bike trail. And Cotopaxi, man, is paradise. I mean, mountain biking from Chilcabamba all the way up to Limpopungo, or what I do usually when I go with my family to Limpopungo, they drop me off at Limpopungo and I bike down to Chilcabamba again. So yes, most definitely we can put together. I mean, the summits will be more complicated because, you know, the trails are not really that developed for like the single tracks are not for mountain bikes. And some areas, you know, you really have to find your way around. But as for the rest, it's mountain bikers paradise.
Great. Yeah, it's great to do mountain biking as well. And also we have one from Anton Lynch. How big is the villa and what kind of price are you talking? Is it open all year round? Excellent social distancing itinerary.
Yes, we're thinking about a lot about social distancing, Anton. And the villa has 5 rooms. So we can hold a big family, you know, or a very nice group of friends who've been quarantined together. And price points and all that, we can send the details to you. I don't have on the top of my mind, but incredibly affordable when you compare to a villa on the beachfront of Galapagos. And this place is incredible. That the house that you guys saw, it's unbelievable. The artwork is modern. It's an old house converted into this modern building. It's fascinating, and it's open year round. It's available year round. If the owners are not using it, we can use it.
Great, thank you, Jassi. Tat, I don't know if you want to add something to end the webinar.
No, I like I said, I've just been re-inspired. I want to go hiking my mountains for now, and then and get down to Ecuador and get on the trail with you guys again, hopefully very soon. And it's exciting, Jassi, to hear you've got some other lodge to lodge ideas coming forth soon. I'll certainly be looking out for those and excited to see them.
Cool, man. Well, Tad, thank you so much for co-hosting the webinar with me. It's a pleasure to see you always. And I look forward to see who came with us. I've been dealing with the slides and a bit nervous with the technology and all of these mountain gear that I have to handle while speaking. But thank you guys so much for joining us. Diego, again, congratulations on organizing this webinar series. As we mentioned last week, we are reducing a little bit the pressure on your inboxes. From this week, we're gonna gear in towards a more specialized topics on our webinars while we're still waiting to go back to operations. So we're gonna be going deeply into product trainings like this one. If you guys have any recommendations, please drop us a line. And I really hope you guys are well. I really hope you guys celebrated your mothers, wives yesterday, and let's stay in touch.
Mother Earth is certainly celebrating right now with
Yes.
far less air travel and vehicle travel. Just to Nicholas, we will send you that information that you've asked about the certification of the guys, and Kathy. Absolutely, we can do 12 adventure travelers and trekkers, and we'll follow up with you as well with more details. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
you very much. Thank you, Tat. Thank you, Jassi. It was a great presentation, and yeah, we will send more details.
See you on the trail. Abrazos, guys.
A real pleasure.
Ciao.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.